violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. All right, guys. So we are in LA, Compton, to be exact, and they are going crazy with these random street pop-up races, and I don't even know if it's a race. I guess it's like a car show, street takeover, if you will. They're going crazy with this stuff. So let's just see the chaos that is going down in the streets of Compton. As you can see, it's very dangerous. People running into the middle of this crowd while they're doing donuts around the car in the center. Somebody could easily lose their life. Somebody could easily see their ops going live at this event and shoot it up. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with these things. And if they're doing this every weekend, it's about to get wild. I mean, this really does look like the Purge. And they throwing money at the top. Very dangerous. Wow, right next to the Chevron. This stuff has to be stopped. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those were stolen cars as well. In the middle of the street, traffic going, oh my God, it's insane. It's insane, y'all.
Well, we thought we had seen it all, but look at this latest street takeover. People literally inches away from being hit by cars. They ran into the middle of an intersection to grab what we can only suspect is cash being thrown by a man on the top of a pickup. This just one of 3 takeovers that we saw overnight.
Yeah, let's get right to assignment, man.
This is, I mean, chaos going down in the streets. And these politicians have allowed it to happen. The leftists have taken over California. Everybody's leaving. Nobody wants to be there when you can't even control your streets at night.
Manager Mark Luke at the desk. Mark, this video is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's right, Chris and Tina. There were three big street takeovers in 2 different parts of the city overnight. We were tracking them at the assignment desk, all of them happening between the hours of 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Now let's go right to the videos you can see here. This is the first video we've got. I expect it to be actually Florence and Normandy. This was a pretty bad street takeover that happened in LAPD's area. This here, actually no, this is Compton and San Pedro. You can see there was an accident right there. This white car, it just sort of drove away on its own. LAPD went looking for it, couldn't find it. We also have multiple instances of people just going around in circles like this. CHP has its own task force to track these things.
Wow, man. And a lot of times these cars are stolen. So you know, the resources for the police are not that plentiful. I honestly, I think the people up top, especially Gavin Newsom, I don't think that he thinks this is a problem. I don't think he thinks this is a problem. And we're going to talk about him and the policy that he just got pushed through. But it's insane.
However, they did not respond to any of these tonight. There is another piece of video that I want to show you. At one point during the street takeover at Florence and Normandy, an ambulance just sort of drove right through the intersection. The street takeover stopped, and they let this ambulance go through. And then immediately after that ambulance went through, the street takeover resumed. Now, I called the
That's crazy.
LA sheriffs. They said that they did respond to the intersection of Compton and San Pedro. They got there too late. There were no arrests. None of the
Wow, they got there too late. That's crazy. So how long are these things? Like 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe?
cars were impounded. I want to come to my screen if you can real quick here. I want to show you where these 3 street takeovers took place. You can see here one, Florence and Normandy, Hooper and Firestone. These were both LAPD calls, and the one down here, Compton and San Pedro, was a sheriff's call.
Hello, I'm Tina Patel, and this is the rundown. A random attack in West LA caught on camera. A woman knocked down after someone riding a rented bird scooter threw a fire extinguisher at the back of her head.
Woo! Man, I told you guys about these super scooting gremlins on Demon Time. I mean, that's horrible, man. You gonna throw a fire extinguisher at the woman while you on the bird?
They caught on camera. A woman knocked down after someone riding a rented bird scooter threw a fire extinguisher at the back of her head. She has a concussion and plans to see a neurologist. Police are still looking for her attacker. A quiet conversation between a homeowner and a homeless man turns into a vicious attack in Studio City. The homeowner was talking to the men moving things onto his property when he was attacked with a metal pole.
Wow, bruh, I would have had to, man. The homeless are taking over and they're camping out at people's houses. They're camping out at people's houses now. Honestly, bruh, I really think it's about to be the purge, because there's about to be like an unspoken war between the people who have homes and the homeless, and it's gonna get ugly.
The hit broke 3 ribs and collapsed his lung. Investigators hope someone will recognize the attacker from security camera footage. The cost of gas in LA just hit a new record high. The average price for a gallon of regular unleaded now $6.47.
Woo! They're hitting them on every angle in LA. They're hitting them on every angle. It's over, bruh. I mean, how are people even surviving with these gas prices? I couldn't imagine.
AAA says prices are only going to go up from here. Prices might not drop until November when the winter blend fuel hits the markets.
Wow.
Now here's meteorologist Amber Lee with a check of your forecast.
All right, Tina, now that we're in October, let's take a look because everyone is counting down. We are 28 days away until Halloween, 34 days until we fall back, meaning the end of...
And 28 days of Halloween. This whole month of October is gonna be ugly, y'all. Okay, we got the devil's holiday coming up. It's finna be ridiculous.
Covering this morning after a man viciously attacks her as she walks on the sidewalk. Security footage capturing the assault in West Los Angeles on Saturday. It shows the woman walking when a man on a scooter comes.
And then he hit a quick Yui in the middle of the street. Wow, bro. That's deep. That's deep.
Comes up from behind and hits her in the head, knocking her to the ground. You see that? He then turns around and just drives off the other way. The victim's boyfriend says she was out for her morning coffee when the attack happened, completely unprovoked.
The man, as strange as it sounds, the man had what looked like a small home type of fire extinguisher in his hand, and in the video you can see him pitching it. I think he's left-handed. He's pitching with his left hand, kind of lobbed it. It hits her right in the back of the head.
Wow, and that's her man's too. And he ain't spinning the block. Guys, there's something happening. People are being provoked, man, and you can only poke the bear so much. It's this is so crazy, man, because I don't want to get too deep in it. We'll save that for the lives. But whew, man, I don't even want to say, honestly. but it's just like you can only push people so far. Like if these random dudes, these random super gremlins are just hitting people with fire extinguishers, hitting people's girl with fire extinguishers at that, it's finna get ugly.
She goes down. She said she was unconscious for a brief moment.
The victim says she has a concussion, but was otherwise not seriously hurt. As you might imagine, police are looking for more security video, hoping that it will help to identify the attacker.
The search is on for the attacker who was still on the run this late hour. Investigators are out looking for him, seen only on that security video as using a scooter as a way to get away after the violent assault. All of this, though, has some saying it may have been the victim, who is an Asian American, may have been targeted as a possible Asian hate crime. Here's the latest.
Uh-oh. What did we've been saying this. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate, bro. The hate crimes adding up. Are we gonna get the crime data for 2022? Because we didn't get it for 2021. I mean, what is that going to look like? Especially when it comes to hate crime. You're gonna see a stark difference. Because the main ones who have been attacking the Asians are these super gremlins on Demon Time.
Pico Boulevard, West LA. It is here the brazen assault takes place, right in front of the security camera. The victim hit in the head. She goes down while her attacker calmly drives off on his scooter.
The man, as strange as it sounds, the man had what looked like a small home type of fire extinguisher in his hand, and in the video you can see him pitching it. I think he's left-handed. He was pitching with his left hand, kind of lobbed it. It hits her right in the back of the head. She goes down. She said she was unconscious for a brief moment.
A closer, slower look now. The woman appears to be hit in the back of her head. See her? She goes down. And the attacker, he just rides away on his scooter like nothing happened. An unprovoked attack after this man said something to the woman first.
It's not clear if he was trying to get her attention to talk to her, or if he was, angry or whatever, so there was some contact, but it's kind of unclear.
Okay, so he probably tried to holler at her. She had her headphones in, or maybe she just was like, you ain't my type. Kept it moving. And my man came back with a fire extinguisher and tried to extinguish her. These super gremlins are on Demon Time.
Clear on why.
We do know LAPD is working this neighborhood, looking for more security video that will show the scooter man. We also know the victim is an Asian woman in her 40s, bringing the big concern she could have been the target of an Asian hate crime.
It seems like it's a possibility. She didn't hear him say anything, but the fact is she's an Asian American woman, and this man obviously stalked her.
Not only stalking his victim in broad daylight, but the fast escalation of violence has made this man on the scooter the prime target of a growing search before he strikes again.
This man needs to be caught so he doesn't assault, injure other people, potentially even kill somebody. This could have killed her if it had hit her in a certain part of her head with at a certain angle.
And now live to that point, the investigation. Detectives may actually be reaching out to the scooter company itself to see if they can get some type of lead on this guy, on the suspect. As for the victim, she is out of the hospital, said to be resting comfortably at home, taking it easy, in good spirits, but still feeling the after effects of that apparent concussion. For now, we are live here in West LA. Susan, back to you.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
All right, guys. So, for the moment you've all been waiting for, we're gonna break down this new law that Gavin Newsom just signed, pandering to the community, that will limit the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal proceedings in California. So California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law on Friday that limits the use of rap lyrics in criminal court cases in the state. The law requires a court in a criminal proceeding where a party seeks to admit as evidence a form of creative expression to consider specified factors when balancing the probative value of the evidence against the substantial danger of undue prejudice. Wow, that's crazy. Undue prejudice. So if that dude with the fire extinguisher, right, in the last video made a song about how he hitting bitches over the head with a fire extinguisher, okay, can we not use that as evidence? Is that undue prejudice? This is ridiculous. The new law underscores a larger national conversation around prohibiting the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal proceedings, a tactic critics have called a racist double standard and an infringement on First Amendment rights. I mean, if you admit to a crime, I mean, that pretty much, you have the right to remain silent, so you also have the right to tell on yourself, and it is what it is. Democratic U.S. Reps Hank Johnson of Georgia and Jamal Bowman of New York proposed legislation in July that would ban lyrics from being used as evidence in legal claims, though there has been no movement on the legislation in the House since its referral to the House Judiciary Committee. Artists of all kinds should be able to create without the fear of unfair and prejudicial prosecution. What about R. Kelly when he's saying, you know, age ain't nothing but a number? They use that against him and everybody cheering. The Democratic governor said in a statement Friday, California's culture and entertainment industry sets trends around the world, and it's fitting that our state is taking a nation-leading role to protect creative expression and ensure the artists are not criminalized under biased policies. Under the new law, California courts must consider, if relevant, and provided testimony on the context of a genre of creative expression, research demonstrating that the introduction of a particular type of expression introduces racial bias into the proceedings, as well as evidence rebutting those findings. Y'all know that black people aren't the only people who make music, right? Like, there are rock artists who make music, and if they were doing you know, wild stuff that they were talking about, like they're saying they're spinning the block and you know, deleting people, then they would get arrested as well. The problem is y'all rapping and then y'all doing and then don't think that that should be used in the court of law. In addition to limiting the use of rap lyrics in California, criminal court proceedings, the legislation which passed unanimously in the California State Senate and Assembly also encompasses the use of performance art, visual art, poetry, literature, film, and other media. Rap artist Meek Mill. Okay, so these are the hip hop artists that are selling the community out. So listen up. These are the hip hop artists who are selling the community out. Rap artists Meek Mill, Too Short, E40, Killer Mike, YG, Ty Dolla $ign, and Tyga were present in a video call with the California governor when he signed the legislation, according to Newsom's office. And we got that coming up next. Scholars Eric Nielsen and Andrea Dennis, authors of Rap on Trial, Race, Lyrics, and Guilt in America, have argued that rap music is the only fictional musical genre used this way because its primary producers are young black men, wow, who the criminal justice system happens to target. Could you also consider that these super rapping gremlins are on demon time? They say the genre's lyrics are vulnerable to being perceived as self-incriminating to law enforcement because of trends in first-person narration and focuses on criminal themes and violent imagery. Calls from the music industry for legislation addressing the use of lyrics in criminal cases have grown in the wake of a racketeer influence and corruption organization's indictment of Grammy award-winning rapper Young Thug in Fulton County, Georgia. Earlier this year, CNN previously reported that some of Young Thug's song lyrics were used as an example of overt acts in his indictment, some of which constitute racketeering. Today, we celebrate an important victory for music creators in the state of California. Silencing any genre or form of artistic expression is a violation against all music people, but they will ban your behind off of YouTube real quick. They'll ban you off of these platforms real quick. They'll make sure that you get no views real quick. But when it comes to these artists talking about killing other black people that they actually killed, then it's a problem. The history that's been made in California today will help pave the way forward in the fight to protect creative freedom nationwide, Harvey Mason Jr., CEO of the Recording Academy, said in a statement on Friday. So here is that Zoom call, that video call that that shows your favorite rappers selling out the black community. Selling out the black community, okay? They straight up sold the black community out. It's embarrassing. They're clapping, they're laughing. They think they did something. They think they're influencing policy, and you're puppets. You are puppets. This is so that when Gavin Newsom runs for president, all the black rappers will say, "Oh, vote for Newsom." I mean, unfortunately, bro, we've got to be the slowest people on earth. If these people can't see how this negatively affects the community, then they just got to be dumb.
Governor Newsom also signed the rap lyrics bill. This bans prosecutors from using an artist's lyrics in music videos against them in court unless they can prove it directly is relevant to the case. Governor Newsom was joined online by several musical artists, including Tyga and Meek Mill. California is the first state to ensure creative content.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.